and the city of Athens 432 years before Christ. Suddenly, the news spread like a bomb among the people, and there was an uproar in the city, and this matter worried everyone. And the news was that a delegation from Sparta had entered the city to negotiate and brought new conditions to Athens to continue the peace treaty. And they wanted more concessions, right, from Athens. Otherwise, they threatened them with a military attack. Just at the time when Athens' power was based on the examples of business and sailing, Sparta's superiority was due to its absolute military strength and countless soldiers. And that means, until then, both of them had become the superpowers of the Mediterranean region and the surrounding area. That one of them is economic and democratic, and the other is military and bureaucratic. And finally, a few days later, the Athens House of Representatives convened a meeting, and its members gathered in Nix Hill to decide on the Spartans' deadline. And after reviewing all the scenarios and suggestions, they came to the conclusion that in the ground battles, no one could confront the Spartans and that their conditions for peace should be accepted. But among all the arguments that had no solution, suddenly a familiar face rose from the middle of the delegates to give a speech about the subject. And this person was none other than Pericles, who was an old Athenian politician and was now almost 60 years old. And he was a popular person, and his opinion was very important and respectable to everyone, because during his career, he had flourished in matters such as democracy, justice, freedom, and the economy of Athens. And he also disagreed with the conquest and instead tried to build internal fortifications. But among the people, some of them were in favor of him and some were against him. And the opponents believed that his act was cowardly, but they realized that instead of wasting the budget, he is building and improving the country, and he ordered the construction of many places such as theaters and temples. And because of this, workers and artisans were busy working and generating income everywhere. Anyway, let's move on. Pericles rose from the delegates to tell his plan to deal with the Spartans, and he said that all the people of the city should gather in the defensive walls, and when the Spartan army besieged the city, we will attack their capital by sea with our military force and trap them. Finally, after many discussions between the representatives, Pericles' plan was accepted, and in this way, a few months later, this crucial war began. But from the beginning of the war, the situation did not go according to Pericles' prediction, and the Spartans did not get tired of the prolonged siege, and instead of them, the Athenians were getting more and more desperate every moment, because that they witnessed the Spartan army burning all their land and possessions outside the city. However, the Athenians continued to resist the siege under any circumstances. But in the second year of the war, an unexpected event messed up all the equations, and the city of Athens was affected by the plague, and it did not take long to send more than 30% of the population of Athens and Pericles himself to death. And after that, the nightmare of the people of Athens began, and everyone was in chaos. And it was in this situation that the leaders of the parties and representatives held a meeting, and without any hesitation, voted for a direct battle with the Spartans. And miraculously, they were able to overcome the forces of the Spartans. And this caused the Spartans to offer them peace, but the Athenians rejected it, and they decided to destroy all the enemy troops. But the Spartans regained their strength, and these conflicts continued in the form of erosion between the two sides. And sometimes the Spartans won, and sometimes the Athenians. At some point, the Athenians decided to attack the key allies of the Spartans with their powerful navy. And in their first attack, they attacked the island of Melos and brutally killed all their men and captured their women and children. And after this victory, they became intoxicated and decided to attack the most important ally of the Spartans, the city of Syracuse on the island of Sicily. And they just attacked without considering the possibilities and military strategies. And everyone who has the strength to fight was sent to the battlefield. And all the people thought that Athens would win this war, but their imprudence became a problem for them. And the Spartans' auxiliary forces trapped them in the sea, and they themselves were besieged. And this dealt a great blow to Athens, which caused them to lose successive battles against the Spartans, and finally cause Athens to surrender, and thus perished all the legacy of Pericles and the golden age that he had built. And what had brought them to this position was what Pericles had warned them about, and in fact, it was far from Athena inside. According to mythological stories, Athena was born from the head of Zeus. And her name is also a combination of the name of God and the name of the mind. And she is actually the voice that guides every hero and general and artist and scientist in times of crisis, and makes them successful. Thank you for watching this video. And lastly, take care of your inside Athena.